but they have the authority to impose a budget on us if ours fail. And you know, George Vittoreri used to be on the Board of Education, and he knows what we go through, and we have a good relationship. Thanks to Ms. Becker, we have a very good relationship with the Township Committee. So,
you know, a lot of people. I won't take all the credit for that.
Well, I think you offered me some money.
I think an interesting point was made. I forgot who said it, but someone was talking about administrative costs versus teaching costs versus other costs. If I remember correctly, and please, if I don't, let me know. In terms of administrative costs, or comparative administrative costs per pupil, we ranked like 72 out of 92 in K-8 schools in, was it the county? I believe it was the county, John?
I don't know the statistic.
Okay, it was the slide that you showed in the last.
When you say 72, does that mean
we were in other words, 92
we were
was the
close
highest.
to the best, or we were close to the worst?
Worst.
We
were in the top third of K-8 systems who had the highest administrative cost, comparative administrative costs per pupil.
So 2/3.
And when I had asked Mr. DiBenedetto about that at one of the meetings, his response was, well, you know, we have secretaries who know every child's name. I mean, do you want to give that kind of thing up? I remember that specifically. It was at the Republican Club's meeting. Is there a way of getting that ratio down so that we become more like other districts in terms of administrative costs per pupil?
I can just answer that. Built into the Department of Education software, their budget software, and over the last couple of years, they've really been cracking down and looking at administrative costs, which, by the way, include your legal fees and your audit fees and everything else. There is a mandated number that you are not allowed to go over, or they will spit your budget back at you and you have to fix it. Every single year, I've looked back at Long Island, has been under the administrative cap limit as established by the Department of Education for there's different regions, whatever region that we're in, because they take the whole group of schools around and average it out, and they say you cannot exceed this, and Long Island has never exceeded that.
Right, but that's not my question.
I don't know I'm not sure what statistics you're talking about, because
it was a slide that was shown at the budget presentation last year, which showed, okay. I don't believe you were at the meeting that I was at.
I think the question at the meeting from the Republican Club last year had to do with, there was a gentleman who actually had grown up in town, and he, this was not recently, he was an older gentleman, and he felt that we had too many secretaries. And there was discussion at the Republican Club meeting about the fact that did we have too many secretaries? And one of the things that Mr. DiBenedetto had pointed out is that, bless you by the way, was that our secretaries know every student in the school, and that they are actually almost a security device, for lack of a better word. It's a horrible word, but I think you know what I mean. They're actually a security net for us, so that when people come to pick up, I'm going to make this up, they know that I'm allowed to pick up my children, but Ralph is not the custodial parent, and he's not allowed to pick up, that type of thing. They are familiar with these ins and outs with these children, and again are acting almost as a kind of a part of our security team in the school, and that parents have been very, they've told us quite firmly that they feel that is extremely important in the schools. We can't have unattended doors. We can't have teachers running around trying to let people in or let people out or determine whether it's okay for Ralph to pick up, but it's not okay for me to pick up, etc. That was the discussion at the Republican Club last year.
But I was just using that as an example. I mean, the actual question is, are we going to make a concerted effort to get out of that top tier in terms of comparative administrative costs per pupil? It seems as though we just spend more than we should in administrative costs per pupil in comparison to the other K-8 districts that were used in whatever study was being quoted at the time in last year's budget presentation. How do we go about doing it?
You were at the Colin presentation a couple weeks ago, right? When we talked about the audit?
Yeah.
I believe, and I don't remember this, so I don't want to talk out of turn, I believe he showed a couple slides on that, didn't he? I'm sorry, I think in his report, didn't he talk about administrative costs? And I'm not saying it was the best, but I don't remember it being in the lower third. I think what we need to find out is where we are.
I seem to remember a number of 72 out of 92.
Did you look into that to see where we are?
Well,
It's a good question.
Regardless, it's very high. There's no question it's high, regardless of exactly what it is.
So
How do we address that?
Just one comment. As John mentioned, if some of these administrative costs are because of legal fees or other things, if we have an untoward amount of legal fees, that would drive us up. So it isn't necessarily secretaries.
Well, can't we break it down from administration, right, in terms of people and
Yes.
legal fees? So that should be easy to
I guess to answer the question, there's no sacred cows, in our budget right now, other than the fact that we have contractual obligations to staff, which we intend to fulfill, and we do have to ensure the health and safety of both our students and our staff. Those are the sacred cows. Other than that, everything else is being looked at under the microscope, and that's why. We can't put a completely comprehensive list on a slide, unfortunately, but all of the areas are being looked at, once again, to say, is it efficient? Can we do it differently? Is there a way to go and get assistance either at another district or reconfigure it somehow so that it does save money? So, yes, they are being looked at is the answer. Whether we'd be able to implement changes, we don't know. Sometimes changes take a while to put in, so sometimes it's a 2-year project. But at this point, don't know, definitely being looked at.
It's not that we want to look at it, we have to look at it. There are certain sacred cows that we don't want to have to look at, but we have to. Like Sue said, everything's on the table. You have a hand up?